Morning. And what a beautiful morning it is. Absolutely stunning sunrise here at Stansted. It's what we aim to capture each and every time we go live. We seek out that lovely early morning sunshine, and Stansted hasn't let us down this morning. Hope you're all doing well early this Sunday morning, wrapped up nice and warm in bed. As we can see here, just 3 degrees Celsius. Next to no wind, really. If we have a little look round at the windsock, which is right by us, handily, you will see not a lot going on wind-wise, so not likely to be any issues for any of the arriving or departing aircraft whilst we're live this morning. We're looking to be live through till about 12 o'clock, just after maybe. We're looking for that Emirates arrival. It was very early yesterday, so we'll see what happens with that. For those of you that don't know, Stansted is tucked away in the Essex countryside, several miles north-west of Heathrow and central London, even though it's called London Stansted Airport. Much like Luton, we covered a couple of days back. Home to Ryanair, and as someone put in the comments already, we're highly likely to see lots of Ryanair arrivals and departures today, but that's all good. Ryanair will be, for the most part, they do have a few Airbuses in their fleet under different flags and logos, but for the most part they are a Boeing airline, certainly in their home colours, so they won't have been affected by the Airbus issues that have been peppering the news of late. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little while. Let's catch a departure. How about that? We were talking at Luton just the other day. I've never caught a buzz on a live stream, and first up today, exactly that. Beautiful. Ryanair arrival uncharacteristically somewhat going a bit longer. They normally peel off right in front of their maintenance hangar, and we'll see that many times today, no doubt. Quickly into the chat then. Emma Michaels first up. Very good morning to you. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Prussian blue. Exactly what I was talking about. Ryanair, Ryanair, Ryanair. Many Ryanair movements to be captured during today's show. We don't mind though. A plane is a plane. Kieran and Mags, glad you could join us today. Working for our Friday Luton show. It's great to have you with us. Giant coin stack still in bed, and why not? Terry Stapley, hope you're well. It is very chilly, but great conditions. Definitely not complaining. Jackie Lawrence, great to have you with us. Hope you're well. Welcome to Stansted Airport. Nice to be back here. Markedly longer departure for that Ryanair. The buzz getting up nicely in front of us and avoiding that secondary control tower. Off to our right we have the private terminals, and we've already had one or two go out while I was setting up. Hopefully we'll be surprised by some of the movements on the private side. Stansted very good at producing a surprise or two, as we've seen on previous shows here. Stansted obviously commercial, private and cargo. And there's a couple of the bigger cargo jets in at the moment. We should be seeing both of these departing during today's show. Sun glistening off of the shiny tail of this Ryanair, lining up for departure. Heading off to Bremen 737-800. Another departure tucked behind this control tower nearest to us, and we can hear something on the move from the private side. We'll see what that is shortly. So as you can see, the layout here at Stansted, we've got all the commercial terminal work right at the far end as we look at it. Into the freighter stuff. And pretty much right opposite is where we see FedEx when they have aircraft in. Blazing sunshine today. Gotta love it. Planes everywhere. That's why we love coming out early mornings. Swish looking jet, nice when we get them close up like that. No information for you on that one. Not broadcasting anything to flight radar for me. Off and away into the sunshine. This is Ryanair 2472 coming in Katowice. Getting the full complement of Ryanair subsidiaries today. Lauda Air, also owned by Ryanair. I think it might be the only ones that use Airbus. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So being owned by Ryanair, this has a Ryanair call sign 2190, departing for Zagreb, A320-200. Jet 2 will be the next departure, heading off to Fuerteventura. That one is 737-800 in the Jet 2 Holidays livery. She's holding for the latest arrival. It's Ryanair flight 177 coming in from Berlin. Should emerge from that foliage shortly. Just see the landing lights now. Quickly into the chat then. SE Media celebrating 14 months of Heathrow Live VIP Lounge membership. SE Media, thank you so much for your continued support. Much appreciated. Terry Stokely saying there's a Global Express XRS pinging in the private area. Very nice. Aaron Michaels, yeah, it's very, very cold. See quite a bit of crabbing on this inbound 737. We're quite sheltered here, lots of trees behind us. But that is quite pronounced, isn't it? Terry the artist, very good morning to you. Conditions perfect today. Good luck with your shooting. There we go, nice early exit from the runway, peeling off in front of the company hangars for that Ryanair.
Clear takeoff, Wilson, 37. Good morning, Ryanair, sure, everything with tablet pilot.
Be lovely if we can get some early rotation cargo action once they're ready to go. Intersect departure for the jet2.com, liveried Jet 2. Antalya destination for this 737-800. As you might expect, super late rotation with that intersect. Arrival next. Oh, we are being treated. Buzz number 2. It's flight 5993, about to touch down from Madrid. 737 max 8. Terry Stapley, a very warm welcome to the Heathrow Live VIP Lounge. Thank you for your support. Get to make use of those funky custom emojis as a member. What a fun livery that is. Awesome silhouetting as they go past this super bright winter sun. Super effort for those of you that have joined us early doors for today's morning Sunday show, when most sane people would still be tucked up in bed asleep. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that like button. Feed the beast that is the YouTube algorithm. Off and away into the beautifully clear blue sky. Absolutely gorgeous conditions here. Treated once again. I was wondering what I was going to be facing getting here this morning, because there was an awful lot of rain yesterday, wasn't there? From most of the country, definitely in these parts. And Stansted at this time of year is mucky anyway. The track to get to this spot, it's all rutted up and it's just a mess. And bought myself a pair of wellies just for the occasion, and boy did I need them. Rome is the destination for this Ryanair 737-800. That's better, isn't it? Earlier rotation.
Well, 8825, goodbye, and 8 increment.
Ryanair not traditionally known for their short takeoff rolls. Next Ryanair, flight 2404. Where on earth is that? Memmingen. Never heard of it. That's where it's going though. 737-800. This one an 8-year-old airframe. Ian Finley, very good morning to you. Welcome to our Stansted show. Great to be back at Stansted. It's few and far between that we do shows here. Always a treat when we can. Very subdued touchdown from the Ryanair. And a little bit of runway spray as well. Jamie Whittaker says, good morning, great start to Sunday, watching from Nurse Fran and Baby Bella. Well, very good morning, Baby Bella. Getting your aviation action in nice and early in your lifetime. Helsinki Spotting, a very warm welcome to you. Hope you're well. Mika, good morning. Welcomes to Stansted. Very nice. Next Ryanair lined up and ready to go. This one heading off to Gothenburg, 737-800. and flight number 5738. And away she goes. Arrival next up. This is Ryanair flight 28, about to touch down from Palma. 2 hours and 3 minutes in the air. That would be a shock to the system, wouldn't it? Palma to Stansted in the winter. Lovely reverser action from that Ryanair. Letting us know it's arrived. Another arrival on finals. They're going to squeeze this Ryanair off to Bucharest out first. 737-800. It's a double take on the originating airport for this particular arrival. It's coming in from Warsaw, but not the Warsaw we all know. Ryanair famed for using somewhat remote airports. So I'd be interested to know how far away from Warsaw WMI actually is. Another nice smooth touchdown for this Ryanair. That nice low sun dead ahead, giving us some lovely artistic views. The spray kicking up from the undercarriage, all silhouetted. Who doesn't like an artsy aviation shot, eh? About to turn on for departure to Budapest. This is Ryanair flight 1658. Back in the trend of those earlier rotations, that latest departure. Jamie Whittaker entering the VIP lounge for Heathrow Live. Thank you for your support. Big thumbs up for you. Get those emojis going as a new member. Sean, Sky Squad TV, very good morning. Hope you're well. It is beautiful here, Sean. It is absolutely freezing though. It says 3 degrees on the little weather app, but yeah, it's very chilly. But prepared for the conditions, so mustn't grumble. How about this then? British Airways movement at Stansted. Not something I'm familiar with. Great to see a different carrier here though. Little Embraer E190. So this is a city flyer service off to Florence. Jamie Whittaker on the Ryanair 7:45 to Krakow next Friday from Luton. We've got a couple of people mentioning that they're flying out of Luton on Friday, so we'll do our best to be there to catch them. Good effort from the little E190, clearing the tower with an intersect departure. Lots of power on these though. Followers of our channel will know that these feature heavily in our London city streams of past. And normally up a lot quicker because they sit hard on the brakes, powering up. And that short runway and then a really steep climb out of London city. Unfortunately not an airport we cover anymore. Terry Stapley, thank you for the information on the second Warsaw airport. Used to get lots of people complaining that they thought they were landing in Berlin or Warsaw or wherever and they were nowhere near the city. Courtesy of Ryanair. There's Wolves Grace in the chat once again. Very good morning to you, Lorraine. For those that don't know Ms. Wolves, she is our moderator-in-chief and an awesome job she does. So make sure you say hello to Lorraine this morning.
Stansted Tower, good morning. Sorry, 8483, approaching holding point, space 1, ready for departure.
Here we go then, Qatar Cargo. Taxiing for departure.
Via Quebec 1, runway 22, sorry, 8483.
So if you've just joined us, a very warm welcome to Heathrow Live, coming to you live from Stansted Airport this early Sunday morning. Beautiful conditions, although pretty cold. Lovely cloudless skies here in Essex, giving us some great early morning visuals. Don't forget to whack that thumbs up, that like button. People waking up thinking, oh, wish there was something to watch. Might not see the stream recommended, so hitting that like button really helps. And we'd hate for them to miss out. Look at that gorgeous Qatar in the sunshine. Stunning. Heading off to Brussels. Nice short flight for this 777 freighter. How about that then? Oh, beautiful. Lovely early rotation. Great 180 turn. If that isn't worth hitting the like button for, I don't know what is. Absolutely fantastic. Triple 7 Paul, I hope you joined just in time for that 777 freighter of the Qatar. Beautiful early rotation in the blue skies here at Stansted. Awesome to see. Ian, I think it was up quicker than the BA. I have to look back. Absolutely brilliant though. That's what we hope for these bigger aircraft, is that they make that rotation super early so we don't lose him behind that little control tower. After all that crazy early action, which was hugely dominated by Ryanair, we've got a little lull in proceedings. Sean, I read your post about your camera. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you'll get the replacement nice and quickly. These things do happen though. Always try and have spares at home, just in case something like that happens. Yeah, just going back to the Ryanair's penchant for using no doubt cheaper airports that aren't quite central to the city they're aiming for. You'd be gutted, wouldn't you, if you were on that Ryanair that departed to the other Warsaw airport this morning and you only had a couple of days. That wouldn't be a cheap taxi ride, would it? 25 miles. Not everyone's as savvy with different airports covering the same city as maybe we are as aviation enthusiasts. Not a crazy amount happening for the time being. Sure, that will change in a hurry. So the Jet 2 on your screens will be heading off to Lanzarote. We also have a high sky somewhere in there. That will be heading off to Oradea, A320-200. Having an EasyJet to Amsterdam. And another Ryanair that will be heading off to Warsaw. One of the Warsaws. And here we have that high sky. Never seen one of these before. It's an A320-200. Crazy colour scheme. This one 10 years old. So as we're looking at an Airbus, worth mentioning the issues that Airbus have faced over the last 48 hours or so. One of those rogue software updates we all hate, don't we? It's not so bad if it's just your computer at home, but when it's affecting an aircraft, not so great. Thankfully, it's a quick fix to roll back that firmware. The issue being that they updated the ELAC controllers, of which there are many on the Airbus aircraft. They control the elevator and ailerons, and they have to have some code written in there to stop issues from solar flares and radiation. And the latest firmware missed that little bit of code out apparently. So quick rollback to yesterday's firmware and they'll be good to go. Apparently it's 30 minutes per aircraft for the fix. What they want to do is they want to get a new airline that's trying to make their mark to be beta testers. Maybe not with passengers on board though, eh? Another intersect clearing the tower, good effort. Werner Ryman, very good morning to you. That clicking is from the ATC when there's no broadcast on. So hopefully when there's a few bits of chatter, that disappears for a while. Just 1 year old, this A320neo EasyJet off to Amsterdam. Now that one may well have beaten the Qatar and the BA for quick rotation. Up nice and early, the EasyJet to Amsterdam, short flight as well. Jet 2 doesn't seem quite ready to head off to Lanzarote yet. Next arrival is now turned on to finals. Ryanair flight 2353 coming in from Cologne, 737-800. And that isn't it. That's we got caught out like this at Luton, didn't we, with some of the private stuff. Not appearing on radar, but not escaping our cameras either. Sadly, no information from me on that one. Shame it didn't take this turning here, isn't it, really? I've seen it once or twice, where they come in head on right towards us. Some of the smaller stuff. So Jet 2 with the intersect departure to Lanzarote before our next arrival, which will be the Ryanair. Nice to get the move on. Crazy long. Another arrival next, and another Ryanair. Surprise, surprise. Ryanair, of course, have their major hub here at Stansted Airport. The next arrival is flight 1475 coming in from Naples. Jamie Whittaker giving us the heads up that little private was in from Canada. Still lots and lots of crabbing. The nose pointing off to the right of the runway. Top job from that Ryanair flight crew. They were making a ton of corrections to allow for that right to left crosswind. No sign of that one being ready to move yet. We should have that departing during today's show. No 747 sat in here today. I'm not sure if there's any en route to us. I didn't get a chance to look at what was heading this way before we went live today. Never a surprise if you do get one though. Cargo and private queens of the sky both use Stansted very regularly. So the Ryanair on your screens now. Flight 176 will be heading off to Berlin. There is one arrival before her. Just about to touch down from Lisbon. Ryanair flight 714. It's a 737 MAX 8. That latest arrival takes us past the first hour of the show in the bag. Unbelievable how quick these shows go by. If you're enjoying what you're seeing and you haven't hit that like button, please do consider doing so. It's a great, free and easy way to support the work we do here at Heathrow Live. Keep those cameras rolling.
Ryanair, 6 Echo Mike, correct. Ryanair 7, gently ready for departure.
Yet another Buzz livery. Certainly exercising the demons of not having seen one on a stream. That'll be number 3, I think. Finals then for Ryanair flight 2533 in from Eindhoven. Sounds like we might have some more engine noise from the private terminal to our right. Let's see what that produces shortly, no doubt. Super short flight for this Ryanair 737-800, just 41 minutes. That's a great livery. Buzz Airways, courtesy of Ryanair, turn and burn, off to Madrid. That one well and truly visiting the control tower. Completely buried behind it, courtesy of the longer takeoff roll. Our next departure will be Ryanair 1468, heading off to Marseille on a 737-800. And on finals, EasyJet 2309, short flight from Edinburgh on an A320-200. Terry loving his photography this morning. Great conditions for it. Look forward to seeing some of your shots over on Facebook later on. If you haven't checked out Terry the Artist page, does some great photographs from over the top in Welling, so give him a check. Straight out then for Ryanair 1468 to Marseille. One of the things I always forget when I come to Stansted, not that we come here very often, but when I do, is all the destinations that are either completely unpronounceable or semi. Jet 2 on your screens now, 737-800 is off to Rovaniemi, wherever the hell that is. And it's probably not pronounced like that either. Some proper noisy engines from the private terminal to the right, but nothing pinging I can see. Super long takeoff roll. So we can now see a Fly Alliance Gulfstream 4 pinging from our right. We'll see if that emerges in front of our cameras or if it's just doing some engine testing. We shall soon find out. Ryanair flight 29 to Palma will be the next departure. 737-800. What a great morning we've got here at Stansted. If only it was late May, early June. It would definitely be t-shirt weather, wouldn't it? Nothing like that. Last day of November. Where has this year gone? Been a super frustrating year for us here at Heathrow Live. Obviously had that broken wrist that put us out of action back in the spring. Mrs. Heathrow Live had an operation, which meant I had to look after her for a few weeks as well. So it's been massively disjointed. So all I can really say is thank you for sticking with us. It's not been the year we really wanted in terms of streaming, but we've survived it. And we're full of hope for 2026, which is just around the corner now. Stuart Hodge, good morning. Thank you for that update. That Jet 2 was heading off to Finland. Harban Singh, welcome back. Good to have you with us again. And Nicholas, good morning to you too. Final checks complete then for this Ryanair heading off to Palma. Straight on the power. Not looking very lively around that geodis, is it? Clear skies for now. It looks like our next Ryanair departure, 61:35, will be heading off to Lübeck. Well, we've got this little lull. It gives me time to, as always, give a shout out to the ATC crew up there in the tower. Great work they do at all the airports we visit. Especially when you're kicking off your shift with the morning rush. Absolutely crazy here first thing in the morning at Stansted. Many flights before sunrise at this time of year. And a great deal of departures whilst we were setting up as well. So as I said, great to be back at Stansted. We don't cover it very often at all. But when we do, we try and make it days like today. Beautiful conditions. If there are other airports you'd like us to cover, please do drop us a line. We've got a link tree pinned to our chat message at the top of their live chat board. Drop us a line, let us know if there's a particular airport you want us to cover outside of Heathrow and Luton, which we try to do every week. Always nice to visit new airfields when we can. So nothing doing with that Gulfstream. It's not pinging anymore, unfortunately. So having a look at radar, we have a Pegasus A321neo. Just 10 minutes out. That's coming in from Istanbul. And then coming from the other direction, in from Dublin. Nice short flight, just 34 minutes so far. Ryanair flight 272. That one a 737 MAX 8. Jet 2 on your screens. We'll be heading off to Tenerife. Back into the chat then. Michael Walker, very good morning to you. Christchurch Airport, planes live. That's a mouthful, isn't it? I would love to come to New Zealand. Very much so. Harban, very kind of you to say so. I was a bit nervous about today's stream because we are in a very rural spot on the north side of the airfield here. And we have had a few network wobbles previous shows from here. But we're holding up for now. So I've probably jinxed it. I always think it's a bit crazy when you get a mad rush of arrivals and departures and then you get these little lulls. Surely it would make sense to just spread the movements out across the morning, but there's obviously good reasons for it. Two Ryanair's winding their way through the taxiway maze towards the runway here at Stansted. Number 1 to depart will be the Lübeck departure. Number 2, the other Warsaw, as we discussed earlier. Roy, thank you for popping by and dropping a like. Very kind of you, thank you. Don't blame you at all, Terry. Keep yourself nice and warm. It's deceptively cold here this morning. I'm sure it is where you are as well. When you look out the window and you see blue skies and sunshine, it's easy to forget just how cold it is at this time of year. Could be worse, couldn't it? We could have a snowstorm. Looking forward to seeing what you've managed to capture this morning, Terry. So the aircraft on your screens now is a 13-year-old 737-800. It's Ryanair flight 1021 off to Warsaw. And the Pegasus Airbus A321neo has just turned on to finals. That will be coming in from Istanbul. Looks like they're going to squeeze another departure before the Pegasus arrival. That being Ryanair 3131 to Paphos. Lined up and ready to go. Leave that one hiding behind the tower as we turn our attention to the Pegasus A321neo arrival from Istanbul. Chris Williams, very good morning to you. Hope you're well. Michael Walker dropping into the VIP lounge. Thank you for your support, Michael. Aviation lover, welcome back. You join us at a very cold but very sunny Stansted Airport. Beautiful conditions to watch the aircraft this morning. Chris, I'm not sure where you mean. So that's the green plane, and I am on a mound. I'm not aware of anything further to my right than where I am at the minute. Ryanair 272 from Dublin will be our next arrival, and that will be in before this latest Ryanair departure. The Ryanair on the ground that we were just looking at, making its way towards the runway and holding short, is flight 2471 to Katowice. Still hear plenty of engine noise from that private terminal, but again, nothing showing. I do tend to get that quite a lot from this position. Planes firing up just to turn them over, I suppose. Not much private action this morning, unfortunately. We'll see how that goes throughout the rest of the show. Take-off roll then for the Katowice bound Ryanair. Clearing the tower beautifully, that one. Always good when they clear that tower. See them tucking their gear away. None more so than that beautiful Qatar freighter. Early doors this morning. Magnificent departure. Next Ryanair departure lined up now. Flight 9810 to Barcelona. This one a 737-800, 7 years of age. Away she goes, off to warmer climes in Barcelona. Now that's an efficient wing. Beautiful to see wildlife around the airport. Into another Stansted lull. A few minutes away for the next Ryanair arrival. That's coming in from Edinburgh. Flight number 597. Still got the Jet 2 on the ground pinging, but hasn't moved from gate yet. Chris Williams, yeah, there's a stack of crates and bits and pieces here that would get you a little bit more elevated. With a tripod, you need to have it somewhere at least semi-stable. I say that because it's just a mud bath here today. I'm standing in about 4 inches of the stuff. So yeah, so long as the tripod isn't going to fall into it or slip away, we'll take the fence line. James Willard, very good morning to you. You join us from an extremely sunny, blue-skied Stansted Airport. Gorgeous conditions out here in the Essex countryside for today's show. No sign of movement from the Jet 2 yet. It's been pinging for absolutely ages. So if you've been glued to the screen watching our show this morning, all the arrivals and departures, early doors, which I'm sure you have, now would be the perfect time to go and make yourself a nice cuppa. Nothing moving at the moment, but we'll keep rolling because it soon changes, doesn't it? We're planning to be here through till midday today, or at least until the Emirates 777 from Dubai arrives. That's what we're looking to close out today's show with. Having a quick look, the Emirates is making very good progress, as it has done throughout the week. Actually, I had looked at how on time it was. It's estimated 11:37 at the moment. So on the ground then, Ryanair flight 1474 will be heading off to Naples. Ryanair 1367 is going somewhere unpronounceable. Podgorica. Let's call it Podgorica. We also have a Ryanair. They'll be heading off to Rix, which is Riga. None of them visible right now though. Tucked away at their gates in that terminal to the far side of the airport. Door open. We'll call that progress, shall we, for the geodis. So when we were doing our Luton show on Friday, I was watching a Ryanair on radar as it approached the airfield and called it out for you all, only to see a little private that wasn't on radar coming in front of it. And I did mention that Ryanair do have a few private aircraft as well as all their commercial stuff for their executive staff, I would imagine. And one of those has just shown up on radar opposite us over at the Ryanair maintenance hangar. This has been by the Challenger 3500, flagging that it's heading off to Prestwick, so we'll see if that emerges. Definitely hear engines from the maintenance hangar on the far side of the airfield there. So fingers crossed. Meanwhile, Ryanair flight 906 inbound from Cork is just on the downwind. That'll be making 2 right-hand turns to pick up the ILS to land here at Stansted. 5 or so minutes out. That one a 737 MAX 8. 3 years of age. Couple more Ryanairs on the move then. Liveries popping in the morning, sunshine. It's actually warmed up quite a bit over the last hour. All that means is that where the mud was frozen, it will now be even soggier. These Ryanairs playing the game of hurry up and wait. We should get our first sight of the Orc Ryanair arrival. Super short flight over from Ireland, 57 minutes. One of these Ryanairs has said, "Stuff that, I'm going." No messing. he was out of there. Easily the shortest takeoff roll from a Ryanair on today's show.
118.825, Max 37 Hotel Lima, second goodbye.
Needn't have rushed really. There's plenty of separation before this latest arrival. Okay, I think we're back. Well, that was pain in the butt, wasn't it? I did mention a while ago, didn't I? And I knew it was going to come back and bite me, that self-service can be really patchy here at Stansted. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Fantastically noisy reversers on that latest Ryanair arrival. Okay, assuming we are back. Oh, I hate cell service. Looks like that Geodis might be ready to get a move on. Doors closed, stairs taken away. Fingers crossed for that one. Perhaps not. Still, open door means things are going on. long taxi when they don't come off short on the runway here. Everything commercial is down at that far end of the airfield. So 2 Ryanairs on the ground pinging for departure. We've got flight 287 to Dublin and 1261 that will be heading off to Porto. They'll be on the move shortly. Mark Abraham, a very good morning to you. It's actually warmed up quite a lot here. I'm feeling slightly overdressed after freezing my bits off first thing this morning. Typical, isn't it? Rather be warm than cold though. Suffering a few network issues here this morning. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? I never should have mentioned it, but these things are sent to try us. Nothing on radar for me for this arrival. Very nice. That one will hop across the runway into the private terminal to our right. Ryanair on your screens now. We'll be heading off to Dublin. It's flight number 287. 737 MAX 8. Nice one, Terry. Thanks for the update on that latest arrival. Nice and easy off into the deep blue skies here in deepest Essex. You just know this one isn't going to move while we're live, don't you? Because I want it to too much. Just the Ryanair to Porto pinging at the moment here on the ground. I'm just about to turn on to finals inbound from Frankfurt. 737-800 Ryanair flight 1748. She's being tracked in by Ryanair 465. That one is 737-800 from Turin. Alan Lee gifting 5 VIP lounge memberships. That's very kind of you, Alan. Much appreciated. If you are with us and you've received a gifted membership, please do pop in the chat and say thank you to Alan. Big thanks to you, Alan. Great support. Looking back on that cell dropout a few minutes back, it's long overdue, to be fair. We've had a really good run of nice stable streams. Got to take the rough with the smooth. Whilst we're waiting for our next piece of Stansted action, if you've just joined us or you joined us a little bit later this morning, do check back the Qatar 777 freighter super early rotation out of here. Definitely highlight of today's show so far. I'm talking about the mud situation here at this spotting point at Stansted. I'm in very big danger of losing my footwear. It's like quicksand. Super quiet here at Stansted for now. We do have the Ryanair from Frankfurt just a minute or so out. And you can see there what wind there is across the runway, right to left for the arriving aircraft. Not particularly high winds or sustained, just gusty. And we've seen a couple of the Ryanairs make lots of late corrections to ensure they get down smoothly and on that centre line on the runway. Quite an odd scenario because we're covered by lots of tree cover behind our position here, so it doesn't feel like there's any wind at all. As you can see there, slight crabbing from the arriving aircraft to allow for that right to left gust in wind. Couple more Ryanairs making their way into the airfield here at Stansted. Number 1 to land will be flight 465 from Turin, and then completing the base leg, 2 right turns to pick up the ILS. Ryanair 4188, that one's in from Milan, 1.5 hours flight time from Italy. We also have one coming in from the east from Poznan. That is flight number 1751, Ryanair again. Terry Stapley, that's outrageous, isn't it? 75 miles and still calling itself Frankfurt. That makes Stansted, Luton and Gatwick carrying the London name trivial, doesn't it? 75 miles. Just coming into view then is the Turin arrival, 737-800, 13 years of age this particular aircraft. longer rollout for that Ryanair arrival. And the Milan arrival now just 2 minutes out. You think of the amount of Ryanair action we've had here today. There's been no crazy super hard touchdowns. They've all been pretty clean. Fair play. Don't always see it like that, do we? Ryanair have the somewhat unfair label of slamming them into the ground. Another on approach, but time to squeeze this Porto-bound Ryanair 737-800 out. The inbound Ryanair is from Poznan.
Ryanair 61 Hotel Mike.
Awesome reverser noise. This one was hell-bent on taking that early taxiway. Great to see. So just having a quick check up on the Emirates 777 arriving from Dubai. That one now estimated 11:44. The Emirates will be the closeout for today's show. That is assuming that our self-service doesn't fall over again. It looks okay for now. Fingers crossed. Second Ryanair 737 emerging from the maintenance area on the far side of the runway. Presumably being towed to gate.
After the Ryanair, left Alpha Hotel from Rhythmic,
Would you believe it? After pinging on radar for the best part of an hour, Jet 2 has decided it's actually going to leave the airfield. Taxiing for departure to Gran Canaria. It's a 737-800. Just a minute or so out, the next Ryanair arrival is flight 2758 coming in from Milan. Two further Ryanairs just coming over the coast of the UK. First from Nuremberg, second from Vienna. If you tuned in hoping to see some Ryanairs today, your dreams have well and truly come true. Terry Stapley, thank you for the information on that private movement. Fingers crossed it comes past our location here underneath the windsock. Always nice to get those close-up private jets. One and a half hours for this Milan inbound in the air. After the thundering reverses of that last Ryanair, desperate to make the early taxiway, that one super chilled. Nice gentle rollout after landing. As we see our jet2.com liveried Jet 2 heading out to Gran Canaria. Still struggle to decide personally which of the Jet 2 liveries I prefer. Hard to make a distinction between them. Really like this one though. It's got a retro feel about it with the chrome bodywork. Away to the Canary Islands. Lovely. Next arrival then, Ryanair 7633 in from Nuremberg. 1 hour 15 minutes and counting for this one. And our next departure off to Belfast on a 737-800. Ryanair flight 131. Terry Stapley, yeah, that Milan one, very similar to the so-called London airports we have here in the UK. And that sort of 30-mile radius. What a beautiful day to be out watching the planes. Stark contrast from yesterday with the heavy rain, high winds. Good old England, massively changeable weather. This is the Ryanair Nuremberg arrival on a 737-800. Jag's in the house. Jag, have you just woken up or not actually been to bed yet? You join us from a very bright sunny Stansted airport. It absolutely freezing early on, but it's warmed up lovely now. Today's show not without its issues. We had a big fallover on the cell service. Managed to get ourselves back up and running, and we're hanging on for the Emirates 777. Next arrival is the Ryanair from Vienna, 737 MAX 8, carrying flight number 7348. Looks like before that we've got a little rogue private arrival. Nothing on radar yet again. I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is the Vienna. I've lost it. I've lost it, people. Looked like it was much further out. Of course, the issue using cell service for these shows is when it drops proper. But also my flight radar is relying on the same network, so goes wobbly as well. Wow, what a racket that one made. Next arrival, it's a Ryanair 737-800 inbound from Dublin. That will be emerging from that tree line imminently.
Stansted, very good morning into Max 3 Hotel Golf for about 27 on command 31. We want to make Juliet 1013. Stand Bravo 31, clear to start to the Bravo west line and then point forward and stand to Max 3 Hotel Golf.
Hold your horses, people. We might be in luck. Whole raft of aircraft making their way across the channel, including a Turkish cargo 330. And would you believe, a Queen of the Skies is going to grace our screens. Silkway 747 freighter. Well, now that I know that we're getting that 747 in from Baku, I'm not so bothered as to whether this Geodis moves or not. And of course, we've got the Turkish freighter in there as well, in amongst a load of Ryanair's and a Sun Express. The beauty of Stansted Airport. Nice mix of commercial, private and of course cargo. And no stranger to the 747 whatsoever. Stansted. Nice long runway. Big cargo facility opposite our position here. So the gaggle of arrivals, 10 to 15 minutes out, including that 330 cargo and the 747 cargo. Not much movement on the ground at this point. In fact, as I look at radar, if you discount the planes we've just seen land, there's more ground vehicles pinging than there are aircraft. Got the Pegasus A321 that we saw coming earlier. That'll be making its way back to Istanbul. That one's just showing up now. And a Ryanair off to Edinburgh. Jag, what have you missed? Highlight so far, although I think that's going to get outdone by the 747 arrival, was a Qatar 777 freighter. Nice intersect departure with a rotation right in front of us. Super light for a 777 freighter. That was awesome. We had 1 or 2 Ryanairs. We're still getting 1 or 2 Ryanairs. Funnily enough. And of course we had a complete loss of network, which caused the stream to crash for a few minutes, but thankfully we managed to get up and running again, which I'm very pleased about, because we get to see the Queen of the Skies and the Emirates triple, assuming it doesn't dive again. Big thank you to those that stuck with us through that outage. It is a peril of being out in the field live streaming. Can't always work perfectly, and we just have to take the rough with the smooth. Definitely hear engine spool up to the right from the private terminal. And pinging from that particular area, we've got an Ascend Airways 737 MAX 8. It says it's going from Stansted to Stansted. Hopefully in the air. Next arrival then, Ryanair flight 195 from Bologna. That's just turning on to finals now. The Bologna inbound, one of 6 arrivals that will get here in short order. They're very close to each other in the sky. Pegasus making a move towards the runway. Windsock indicating that the winds have picked up quite a bit. You can see why they have windsocks at various spots around the airport to help the flight crews, because the one on your screen there is blowing, showing some gusts across the runway. The one right next to us here, completely limp at the moment. That arrival showing there's still quite a lot of spray or standing water on the runway. Even though we've got these bright skies, it's not warm enough to burn it off at all. Next arrival, Malta Air 737 MAX 8. This coming in from Gdansk. Oh, nice 2 for 1. As we can see our next arrival turning on in the background. I think that might be the first Malta Air we've caught on the show that wasn't an A320. So Ryanair departure to Edinburgh, squeezing out in between these 6 arrivals. The next of which is Ryanair flight 3633 inbound from Bremen. minimal separation between that departure and this arrival. You can definitely see why they always need to be ready to go around if needed. Jack, yeah, just seeing your post there. A super fast satellite link wouldn't go amiss, would it? I did briefly look into Starlink, but their upload speeds are rubbish, so not an answer. And yeah, no fog here today. Far from it. Beautiful conditions. Beautiful arrival. Turkish A330 cargo. That one a true freighter with the extended bulge for the nose wheel so that you don't get the rake that you would do on the passenger version. Nice smooth landing. Jag, yeah, definitely there's a crosswind here today for the arriving aircraft. So you are seeing some crabbing. Well then, welcome back. Yeah, the DC3 airport for sure. Typical Stansted, nothing then everything. Is that our 747 in the background? Sun Express taking the Bali taxiway. Another Turkish airline, Sun Express. Right, 747 freighter is number 2 to land. Before that, we've got a Dublin inbound 737-800, Ryanair flight 202. Another one for the early exit. Most of the morning they've been bypassing that one, taking a longer rollout. Right. All eyes trained on the horizon for this 747 Silkway freighter.
12173,
There she is, lurking with intent. Inbound from Baku, 5 hours and 1 minute of flight time so far. This one, Silkway West Airlines, 26 years old. Oh yeah, lovely noisy arrival. Silkway West 747 freighter. Who doesn't love to see a Queen of the Skies? Let's just come out of the private terminal. That's the one that's saying Stansted to Stansted. Let's see what happens there. One on short finals, but this one on the hurry up, off to Krakow. Ryanair flight 2432. Super long run out for that one. What a difference a few minutes makes. Absolutely nothing happening for a few, and now non-stop. Don't know where to look next. Silkway on slow taxi to let the Ryanair out in front of it. Poznan is a destination for this latest Ryanair 737. Another 2 for 1. Nice view for all the passengers on the left-hand side of that Pegasus that's just arrived. Great big 747 freighter going past. This is Ryanair in from Dublin, 737 MAX 8. Terry the artist, yeah, just looking at your comment about the Queen versus the King. I think the King is just so enormous. It's sort of just, it's got its own awesomeness from that, hasn't it? Having flown both, I would always pick an A380, but then it's a much newer aircraft, isn't it? But yeah, there's something super nostalgic about the 747. Especially that silhouette when it's coming straight at you.
Ryanair.
And believe it or not, for as many 747s as we've caught on our live shows, that's the first Silkway I've ever seen in the flesh. Great livery.
Glen Rami to the center, show that call.
Stuff going on everywhere. Seems like we've got, oh, it's crossed the runway from the private terminal, so not going to come past our location here. 3 lined up for departure, awaiting our next arrival. Still some crabbing going on. Jack, yeah, that's what it is. They knew you were going to pop onto the stream. Let's give him something to watch. It's feeling very Luton-esque here today at Stansted, in that we had that quiet period after the morning rush, and now we're full on again as we approach lunchtime. That's what came out of the private terminal. Obviously didn't fancy departing from halfway up the runway, which is where it would end up if it came past our position on the taxiway closest to us. late rotation from a Ryanair. We'll leave that one to catch the latest arrival. Usman, good morning. Apologies, I've only just seen your message. I'm assuming that aircraft has gone overhead already. One-man show here at Stansted, so lots going on behind the camera. Noisy, noisy. Right, this was the intriguing one out of the private terminal, saying Stansted to Stansted. Ascend Airways. Test flight, one would presume. No way. Let's see if that one comes back around. This is A-Jet A321neo in from Istanbul. Pretty cool livery on that one. Departure's still holding. We've got another inbound Ryanair flight 5995 in from Madrid, 737-800. Whilst we watch this latest arrival. Big thanks to Werner Ryman for the €2.49 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. And also showing great support, Jag, with the VIP lounge membership. Thank you, Jag. Grumpy, good morning to you. You join us late into today's somewhat disjointed show. A show of two halves, shall we say. We'll be looking out for the Emirates triple in from Dubai. That will be our closeout of today's show, due in the next half hour or so. Meanwhile, Ryanair on the roll. It's flight 2687 to Calgary. Next out of here then, off to Teterboro, Gulfstream 4. This is Fly Alliance. One would assume it's quite heavy. It's going for a full length departure. Very nice, super shallow initial climb out. Next arrival, coming in from Faro, Ryanair flight 5553. Straight into our next departure then, off to Cologne for this Ryanair 737 MAX 8. Can't believe how busy this place got. Hardly time to think. This is Pegasus flight 1531, about to touch down from Izmir. It's an A320neo.
Morning, bye-bye.
What a beauty that Silkway 747 is. So the next arrival is that ghosty that we saw ascend air coming around. Let's see if it actually touches down or something a bit more interesting. So EK65, the Emirates 777-300ER. Just a few minutes out now. Looks like it's number 3 to land. That will be our closeout for today's Stansted show. So our Emirates in the background. Beautifully clear skies today. Oh yes, nice close-up of this 737. One circuit and done, heading back to the private terminal. Awesome. Oh, what a few minutes we've had. Absolutely crazy. Great to see that 737 turn off. So, well, to slow down rapidly enough to turn off in front of us is quite a feat for an aircraft that size, isn't it? Terry the Artist, absolute legend of the channel. 9.99 super chat. Another great stream, Jay. Cheers. Terry, I do apologise for the network issues. They are beyond our control, but it's never nice to experience them if you're watching. Thank you so much, Terry. Roger Ford enjoying today's show. Thank you so much for the feedback. We'll let that one go. Here we go then, close out of today's show. Emirates 777-300ER, inbound from Dubai. Wow, what a super graceful touchdown. Aced that landing. Couldn't see what I was looking at for a minute there. We're going to leave you that beautiful sight. Star of today's show, the Silkway 747 freighter. Awesome to see her coming earlier on. Folks, it's been a bit of a weird one, hasn't it? Bit stop and go here at Stansted this morning, but a nice mix as always. Nice to see the freighter action. And of course finishing off with that beautiful Emirates 777. Once again, apologies for the dropout in network. These things are sent to try us. Of course, a big thanks to our moderators and to those that have supported the channel by hitting that like button, super chats, joining our VIP lounge. It's great to have awesome support from you all and a great community to share our love of aviation with. We're going to leave it there, folks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever it has in store. Stay tuned for updates on next week's shows. Looks like we'll definitely be at Luton on Friday because there's a good few people that follow us that will be on various flights out of that airport, so looking forward to catching those. Maybe a couple of shine the lights from the windows. That's your lot, folks. Take care of yourselves and we'll catch you again soon.